got 43. I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key.
See yourself down. It's Russell Howard, ladies and gentlemen. That's who it is. Hey, Russell, great to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure. You're not going to tag me, are you?
No. That was like he was like an Asbo boy, wasn't he, out there? It's great to have you on because I've been aware of your comedy now for about 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know how long you've been on the scene before that.
I've been on the scene for a while, yeah.
Okay.
We've met before.
Yes,
Should we tell everyone?
We met very briefly at it was a charity concert.
We met in a toilet. Yeah. And it was one of the lowest moments of my life because you came in and went, "You're thingamajig, aren't you?" And for some reason I panicked and went, "I can be whoever you want me to be." Of all the places to say that in a toilet, it's probably... And it was lovely. You won't remember because your response was just, "Oh," I just kind of wandered off.
So this was for Amnesty International.
Yeah, well, that wasn't for Amnesty International, no.
That was just for our own pleasure.
That was just me making a tea out of myself. That's my skill.
And for the next half hour, he was Susan from Leicester. A shift worker.
I felt like it was... Oh.
OK, but it's kind of gone very big for you now, hasn't it? I mean, I know your DVD...
It's gone very big. We're still on that innuendo territory, isn't it?
Well, your DVD is called Dingle... Is it Dingle Doddies or Dingle Dodies?
Dingle Dodies.
Is that a West Country expression?
No, Dingle Dodies is from On the Road by Jack Kerouac.
Oh, really?
And it basically describes kind of life-affirming sort of lunatics, you know, the people in life that you kind of adore and you traipse about. Like my friend Tom, I fell in love with him age 5. He stood up in the middle of a nativity play and just went, "Well, enough's enough." So it's... And like people like that, I kind of do it like every day. Like in Bristol, I saw this the other day. You know, you see something, you're so glad you're alive. There was a man in this cafe who yawned, and the bloke in front of him, who did not know him, popped his finger in his mouth, right, and went, "Ooh, yawn rape." And honestly, I'd never seen anything like it. I was laughing, and did the bloke headbutt him? No, he giggled and went, "It's a good job I didn't fart, wasn't it?" And he was sat there going, "Brilliant." And that's it. And it just...
Reese, have you visited the West Country since you were in the UK?
No, I think I'll be staying here in London for a while.
Don't pit me out to read... I was just telling a story. I'm not going to yawn rape her. You can't not do it, though. I guarantee. You'll see an old lady on a bus. Ka-cha!
When did you start stand-up? When did it first occur to you you could do it?
Well, I started it in '99. It was the first time I ever did it, and I sort of crept out of the family house.
So how old were you then?
I was 19.
You're about 18 now or something, aren't you?
No, I'm 29.
Wow, he's a young-looking 29. Have you been to Gordon's, bloke? Have you had a little bit... have you been tightened, or...
I haven't been tightened. I've been tightened.
Or something, or...
No.
Pumped up, or whatever. What did you have done? He had lubricant injected into his face or something, I don't know.
You could fit a deck of cards in his face still, though.
I think you look lovely. You look very handsome and lovely. OK, now, I've noticed that a lot of you... Well, we mentioned your appearance. Yes. You're a handsome young man, and I know you have quite a following. Oh, yeah, you do. You have the young ladies love you, and some of the young fellas as well, I'm sure.
Yes.
OK. But it's a nice thing. It's a nice thing to be considered attractive. Do people sort of, you know...
I've got a lazy eye and really lanky teeth. So it's kind of like, look, I just get bullied all the time as at school for my lazy eye, right?
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, you know, and my dad, right, like, kids are really cruel. Look at him, he's obsessed with his nose. And we're like, who said that, right? And I did that thing. I went to my dad for advice. I don't know if anyone's done that. And, "Dad, I'm getting bullied." I used to cry a lot. I look like a Picasso in the rain. And I said, "Dad..."
Hold on, give us a sec, because we're all choking up with emotion.
But it got even worse. My dad would say this to the bullies, and they'll bully you no more.
What did your dad suggest that you would say?
Well, I had to go up to them and go, "Bullies, how can my eye be lazy when it wanders around so freely?" "I think you'll find, bullies, it's an imaginative eye." And the beating just...
Who was your father, Sir Francis Drake? Why was he speaking in Jacobean verse?
He doesn't speak like that. I don't know why I came in. My dad was sat home going, "I didn't say that."
So now, where do you look for material? Because a lot of this stuff I notice is kind of like stories. It seems to come from your life a lot. Are they true stories that you embellish, or do you just make them up from scratch? What do you do?
No, I kind of, a bit of both, really. Just stories and kind of seeing people and sort of travelling about. I'm quite good at being awkward. That's my major skill. So I'll make a fool out of myself and then retell it, and it's funny. Like, the other day, this doesn't paint me in a particularly good light, but I was hiding underneath my brother's bed, right? Because I'm staying with my brother, and I thought it'd be really funny, creep under his bed. I know I'm 29, it's pathetic, but I'm under his bed.
And how old is your brother?
My brother's 27, right? I'm kind of under his bed, and I'm giggling in anticipation, because he'll fall asleep, I'll scare him, hilarious, right? Now, he never brings girls back, right? Yeah, exactly. all of a sudden, very different, thud, thud, and you're underneath the bed going, because how can you get out of that situation?
You can't pop out.
So my decision was to crawl away, right? So I started crawling out like this. And for some reason, I looked back at the girl. I've no idea why. And she caught my eyes, and I just looked at her and went, hello! And what was weird about it, like... What was really great about it is she looked at me and went, hello! And my brother, in the middle of the sex act, went, hello! And after that, it just got a bit weird.
Okay, well...
But that's my skill, I'm very good.
Yeah, but it shows that you're obviously a very close family. He wasn't cross with you, he wasn't...
But that's it, it's kind of that thing of that's, I guess, where my comedy comes from. It's just situations where you go, that'll be a laugh, and then it kind of is in the retelling, but I don't look good, you know?
But you're quite young at heart, obviously. You're obviously a young-minded person, because as I said, you know, a lot of people, when they get about 29, they get a bit grumpy, but you're obviously still enjoying that.
Well, I just, you know, I've got no time for cynicism, really. I just think, you know, we've got one chance to live. We all want to be happy. We're all going to die. Might as well go for it.
Try that to the Buddhists.
Absolutely. Well, nice reference. But my take on it is you could be a slug. When you think about it, it doesn't matter how depressing you're like. Imagine actually being a slug. You look like a turd. You're covered in slime. All you do is drag your... But that's depressing. You can't even cry. If you do, the tears will melt your face.
OK, let me ask you about... There was... I believe you had a weird encounter on your show.
Yes.
And you'll be pleased to know it's a big hit in my house. It's on BBC Three. It's called What's That's Good News. It's great fun, and it's doing really well for them. I mean, it's a big hit, isn't it, on BBC?
Well, most stuff on BBC Three is normally documentaries. About
Yeah,
kids.
well, you know,
the boy with a shed for a head. So, it's a pleasure, you know?
Since when did that mean a shed?
I went with it. It was a mime.
That's a shed, everyone knows. OK, well, it's a clown's hat. What was this with the tattooed lady? You had a weird... You were talking about a tattooed lady. You had a weird encounter with the most heavily tattooed lady?
I do a thing every week called Mystery Guest, where I sort of have to pick somebody out from the news. And I have no idea. And she arrived. She's the most tattooed pensioner ever. And she was head to toe in tattoos.
So she's a tattoo. So she's over... She's a woman over 60. How old was she?
I think she was 67.
67 years old.
Yeah,
I think we have a picture. They got a picture of the heavily tattooed pensioner.
There she is, yeah.
Well, she... you know...
That was pretty much my response. It was a fairly weird moment.
Once you get past the tattoos, though, she looks very good for 67, I think.
It's tricky to look past the tattoos, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is hard to, because there's a lot of tattooing going on there.
And
Did she have them done since she turned 60, or was she having them done all her life?
I didn't ask.
So what did you talk about, if not the tattoos?
Well, she was wearing a big jacket, so I had no idea that she was tattooed.
So you had to
underneath.
guess who she was?
Well, yeah, and I was trying to figure out, and then right at the end, she just went, "Wah-da!" and kind of revealed, and wearing a similar thing, and just her bangers were just sort of hanging down. And suddenly, you find yourself in a very awkward situation. Like, I didn't think I'd be on telly with a lady kind of swinging around like that. Can you guess who I am? And she looked like a really edgy dinner lady. You know what I mean? I'll make you dinner, swat.
OK, you're about to kick off on a new tour?
I am, yeah.
OK, now what, do you have a funny and amusing name for the tour? What do you have the title for the tour? What's it called?
It's called Big Rooms and Belly Laughs.
OK, so presumably you'll be playing in quite big stadiums and places.
Yeah, you know, it's in arenas, which is
wow,
ridiculous.
that's huge.
Yeah.
And have you played one of those big spaces before?
I did Wembley last year, yeah, which was ridiculous.
It must be different doing it in a big room, though, I'm sure, because you have to, you know, sound travels quite slowly, in actual fact, isn't it? So you get that thing where you finish the joke and you're on the next one. I guess the laughs come out from the first
But it's
one.
kind of nice because it kind of, you sort of tell a joke and it kind of laugh and then rolls back and then kind of, it sort of becomes sort of quite orchestral. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of just moving. Yeah. It's lovely, man. It's really good. And it's just such a sort of privilege to wander on and go, hello, Wembley.
And they go mad for you,
Yeah, sort of, you just sort of pinch yourself. And what made it really lovely, my mum and dad came to watch, and my sister said that people were coming into the gig. My mum was outside, pointing at people as they're coming in, pointing at herself, going, that's where the magic comes from. Which is just, I've never been prouder in my life, because nobody, don't pull that face, it's wonderful, nobody knew she was my mum, or they'd see me as an old lady. Beautiful. That was the highlight of Wembley.
Yeah, well, that's
my mum being funny.
How old is your mother then?
My mum is 50, I think.
Wow.
Are you 50?
Wow. She must be proud of you. They must be very pleased.
Yeah, we get on really well.
What does your brother do, your younger brother do for a living?
He's a systems analyst.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't, Paul, look at you.
Wow, what happened there?
He's very happy.
Yeah. What does your mum talk about him ever? I bet she's never outside a system analyst meeting going, that's where the magic came from.
That would be... No, he's good. And my sister was in Reginald Perrin.
Wow.
She was the secretary in the Martin
In the
Clunes
new
remake.
series. She was very good in it. She was very funny in that.
That's my sister.
I like that. Wow. So she's an actress. Any other family members?
Nope, just us.
You don't still live in the West Country? I guess you live here in London.
No, I live in Leamington. Spa.
Leamington. You live in Leamington Spa.
Yeah.
What happened there?
That's great, man.
I'm not saying it's not great, but it's unusual.
Well, my girlfriend's at university doing medicine, so
Oh, that's nice.
we live together there. It's lovely, yeah. She's at home at the minute with the cat and the dog, and that's where I want to be. Not that this isn't fun, but you know. Oh, thanks very much. There's people and there'll be blokes all over the country just going, "Oh, you dick."
Yeah. They know why you're saying it.
Yeah.
Your tour starts December the 11th?
Yes.
Where does it start?
It starts in Manchester.
And so is it Manchester Arena? Is it in the big...
Yeah, it's the MEN
The
Arena.
MEN.
Yeah.
What does MEN stand for?
Manchester Evening News Arena, I think. Is that right? Yes. Well, that's very deep. Yes.
He's the fact checker from the BBC. They point out, yes, I'll just check.
How deep was your voice?
It's pronounced Butwas Golly. There you go. OK, great to have you here.
Thank you.
I've been enjoying your show. I'm looking forward to seeing more, and I'm going to try and come and see you live on tour.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
I'd like to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you'll agree, a very funny, very talented young man, Mr. Russell Howard.